Hello, everyone. I'm the Billings Bandit, and I am in distress. I have been postponing these Batman bummers for so damn long. I decided I'll finally give them to you, but I've parted them down to 3 points each. Three of the most important points that I feel need to be changed. Let's just jump right into it. God, I'm excited about this. Alright. Batman Begins. Biggest problems I had with it, the three changes I would make. First one, Batman does not give away his identity to anybody. Fox knows it because he's making him the fucking shit. Alfred knows because how the hell could he not know? He's right there. That's it. You don't need anyone else to know. Him telling Rachel that he's Batman is infuriating. And I don't get why he did it. Point number two. That third act needed so much more Scarecrow, and Ra's al Ghul should not have died. The villains were just done wrong. I needed like a Scarecrow to just be coming in when that fear toxin takes over the city and just taking over, creating a big fucking cult of like fear worshippers. And Ra's al Ghul just like that's his whole plan this entire time was just like Scarecrow was gonna take care of scaring people and getting them to kill each other. And then Ra's al Ghul, of course, lives on, and he gets to fucking be in the next movies. Third one, that final scene's totally pointless if you don't see the dead bodies. Okay, here's what you do. Instead of having Gordon show up with this Joker card in a plastic bag saying, I found it on the scene of a double homicide, you have Batman come upon the scene of a double homicide. Two dead bodies in an alley. Dead bodies of a man and a woman in suits. Flashbacks to his parents' death and the tragic way in which they were cut down, and then you zoom in on the Joker card, which is laying on top of their bodies. And that's how you lead into the fucking sequel. Speaking of sequels, those are my 3 points for that one. Let's do a bummer for The Dark Knight. A hard movie to do a bummer for, to be honest, because it's fucking amazing and I love it. And I do have a couple of ways that I think I could change it that would make it better. First of all, don't kill off Rachel. I'm sorry, just don't kill off Rachel. She doesn't mean enough to me in this movie. She's not even played by the same goddamn woman. Maggie Gyllenhaal just comes across as really hostile through that entire movie, so I don't care that much when she dies. You kill off Alfred in that scene. Think about that. Instead of Batman choosing between some woman who he's obsessed with and the future hope of Gotham, which should be a cut and dried choice for Batman, definitely go for Harvey Dent. He has to choose between his childhood friend, his childhood mentor, his guardian, the only person who knows his secret identity and can help him through all of his trials and tribulations, and the future hope of Gotham, the shining light that he feels can help him get past being Batman, or even the need for Batman. Then Alfred dies, and you get a much more meaningful death scene. I also think that you should switch around, this is point number two, the death of Harvey Dent and the death of the Joker. Now, this isn't just because you don't have Heath Ledger to come back and play the Joker. That has nothing to do with it. I really think that the Joker's death in The Dark Knight Returns was an amazing death. And since you killed off Ra's al Ghul and established that characters that are supposed to last a really long time can die whenever you feel like they should die, go ahead and kill off the Joker in the movie he shows up in by having him kill himself once Batman realizes that he has to die and that people will just keep getting hurt and chaos will just keep ensuing if he doesn't die. But Batman doesn't have the strength because he's injured or too weary, so the Joker has to kill himself, and everyone blames Batman, and that's how we villainize Batman at the end of the movie. You keep Harvey Dent alive, talking about how Batman's a killer from prison, and eventually he can fucking help you out with getting Bane, like control of Gotham. It makes a lot more sense when Harvey Dent is there helping him. And you could even have Ra's al Ghul come back in that third movie and totally fucking team up with the three of them. It would be an awesome fucking final movie. You have Ra's al Ghul, Bane being led by Ra's al Ghul because he was trained by him, and then Scarecrow's in the background there, and Harvey Dent's kind of pulling the strings like the politician he's always been. And that seems like it'd be way better to me. And that third thing with the Dark Knight, I don't know if anyone else really cared about this that much, but I really think that the biggest problem that I had with that movie the entire time I was watching it was that it didn't seem like Batman really cared that much about Harvey Dent. So my biggest thing was that, like, I want him to be devastated when he finds out Harvey Dent is killing people, not just be like, oh god, I need to solve the problem. I want him to realize that all of his hopes and dreams are being destroyed at the same time as Harvey Dent turning evil is destroying his own psyche. Like, they're both going through this simultaneous breakdown because of the loss of the only hope the city had. I don't know if that matters to a lot of people, but it kind of mattered to me, so thought I'd bring it up. Now, The Dark Knight Rises. This was the tough one. Everyone's already done a review of this, and it doesn't seem like anything I'd say would really matter that much, but here's my 2 cents anyway. I think, personally, that the Tate character, I think was her name, the love interest for Batman who turned out to be the bad guy, should have just been eliminated from the whole movie. I don't think that she should have been there. If she had been there, just don't make her the villain. It's stupid. My second point rolls right back to, I think that Bane should have had a little bit more help from Scarecrow, a little bit more help from Ra's al Ghul, who would come back instead of just as a hallucination, as a real guy helping. And I think that Harvey Dent should have been there pulling some strings, and that would have been pretty fucking awesome, actually. Like, you get that big kind of rogues gallery at the end of the series. And then I have this other idea where, since you have no Tate character, who did Bane give the detonator to? The fucking bomb device that he said he gave to an ordinary citizen. Well, you find out at the end of the movie that that detonator has been sitting on the grave of Thomas Wayne the whole time. He gave it to an ordinary citizen, but he knew that Bruce Wayne would never look there, because he's so wrapped up in trying to stop Bane and save the city that he can't take care of his own, motivation and his own problems. And he would never go back to that cemetery at a time like this, because it would just remind him of the greatest failure. So that, I think, would be really, really cool. I also really hate the final scene, so let's just cut that final scene. Like, Batman should have died. Let's just end it after Batman died. Let's not have fucking Alfred looking at him, because in my version, Alfred's dead anyway, so there's no cafe scene at the end of My Dark Knight Rises. In fact, I actually love that about My Dark Knight Rises. I'm pretty sure that Batman would have a real fight in my version with Bane, because otherwise Catwoman takes him out, and it kind of doesn't even make sense, because you're not really quite sure what happened. It's all just done really quickly. I found myself looking up on Wikipedia if Bane had actually died after I saw the movie, because I had no fucking idea at all if he did. But let's get back to, I'm kind of rambling here. Third point about Dark Knight Rises, the way it ends. Since Batman dies in my version and there's no cafe scene, this is how you end it. Robin Blake goes to the Batcave. When he gets there, instead of just seeing a suit that was tailor-made for him, he finds a group of kids with bat makeup on their face. They're all gearing up for the war on crime that Batman was essentially starting with his actions, with Robin Blake to now lead them as Nightwing. And that would be a really cool way to end it. Like, that's how you end the series. Nightwing is now going to train these people to be a squad of soldiers that can act as Batman did. Anyway, I know I kind of rambled a bit there, but you can see how kind of the three movies meld together a lot. So I kept trying to figure out how do I change the movie without fucking up the way the next movie works. But I think I gave it a pretty cohesive storyline. Like it's not that hard to follow. In the first one, you got the fucking dead bodies and Rachel just doesn't know about Batman. In the second one, she still doesn't know about Batman, but Alfred dies, and Harvey Dent's still alive, and the Joker dies. And then in the third one, you got the fucking trio of enemies, the quartet, if you include Scarecrow, which most people who like Batman don't consider him a main villain. But yeah, the quartet of villains, the rogues gallery that he has to go up against, the actual death of Batman, the starting of the Batman Revolution, and a lot of really meaningful scenes that just didn't seem so half-assed. And yes, in the third movie, Rachel still doesn't know it's Batman. Like she doesn't even know when Batman and Bruce Wayne die on the same day that it's fucking him. I really do like to think of her as just being some dumb bitch he kind of had a crush on. It's I don't have a lot of respect for that character. I don't know why she was so prominent in those first two movies. I'm not against women at all. I actually really don't even mind Catwoman's part in the third movie. I just think Anne Hathaway kind of did a fucking shitty job of it. But I don't know that it's really her fault so much. Her character line was kind of random. Like she just kind of popped in at certain times to give flavor to the scene. There's that scene in the prison where she's walking through and she just like twists some guy's arms and you're like, well, she's being kept with the men, okay. Like, why aren't you giving her anything to do? How can she do a good job when you don't help her out at all? I'm sorry, Anne Hathaway. I don't hate you. I don't like that movie. I don't think that you were properly represented. I don't think anyone was really properly represented. I think Michael Caine should have at least died in the third movie, or Fox maybe, or Gary Oldman. You faked his death in the second movie, but those three main older characters, you couldn't kill one of them. Then none of them are getting like carried over into Dawn of Justice. Kill one of them, man. The only fucking person you kill is Rachel and Ra's al Ghul and Harvey Dent, the three characters who either don't matter or would have worked a lot better if they had stayed alive. F you dudes. But whatever. That's all I have to say on that matter, and I'm glad I got this video finally done, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But stay tuned. Later tonight, I'm going to be doing some Drunken Gear Solid 5. That's me playing the Phantom Pain just after getting some drinking done because of how terrible having to do this has made me feel. It's just been a real chore. I like these movies, and I'm critical of it. There's a lot of things I want to fix, but I don't want to do a 15-minute movie video on each one because goddamn. It's hard to meld them together. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, how do you meld three reviews together where the three movies don't become completely singular movies that have nothing to do with each other? Because there's a character here all of a sudden that you killed off in the last movie. I hope I did a pretty good job. You guys go ahead and give me some feedback in the comments below and subscribe if you liked this, but stay tuned because next Tuesday you're going to see my Man of Steel Billings bummer. Have a good night, guys.